since I've actually been able to do a review, and I got some new dangly bits. I got some new stuff on Tessa that I'm going to actually do a formal review on for once, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah. So over at Bedlam Works, we carry these blinker slash taillight kits, and the company is called High Speed Technology, and the unit is actually called X-Arc. I think they're X-Arc lights, but they come in pairs, or I think you can buy just a single unit if you needed to replace one. But they're these fucking super badass blinkers and taillight setups. And as soon as I saw one the first time I went over to Bedlam Works, I was fucking hooked. I was like, yes, I need that in my life. So I have them installed on Tessa now, and they're fucking awesome. But I kind of wanted to go over a couple of points with you guys and give you guys a better idea of both the style and practicality, the ease of installation, and then I wonder why so many bikes are just stopped, like, turning. The style and practicality, ease of installation, and then the price range, or the price point, I guess you could call it. So first off, we're going to start with the style and practicality. These things are fucking dope. But when I say style and practicality, you guys know I'm really big on practical setups. Obviously, I've got my tablet set up for my dash and everything. And with that not being as common as you would see on some motorcycles, it does everything I need it to, and I can take it with me and actually do shit with it. So when it comes to looking at aftermarket blinkers, for me, I didn't want to get something that was just, you know, a housing with a light inside of it. I wanted something that would improve the functionality of the bike to other motorists. So what's really cool about these is function-wise, I thought I heard sirens. Function-wise, they are 400 lumens each. Each individual unit, each individual I guess housing, projects 400 lumens each, which is, if you guys don't know lumens, Google lumens, because it's apparently the way you rate how bright something is, and 400 is a lot for fucking blinkers. So yeah, they're bright as shit. And the best part about it is when you're trying to get your message across that you're turning or you're stopping or whatever, 400 lumens is about right. It is incredibly bright. So now we're gonna move on to the style portion. As for style, these blinkers were designed with, I wouldn't really say custom builds in mind, but they fit perfectly on custom builds like cafe racers, you know, cruisers, choppers. I could see them totally working on sport bikes if you've got kind of a naked platform like a Street Fighter, because they're really low profile. The actual housing itself is only I think it's 0.8 inches in diameter, and then it's just over an inch long. So they're super sleek, super low profile, and generally speaking, when compared to, like, say your bike's subframe, especially like mine, they're almost the same size. You can get them in both, kind of like I guess it would be a satin black, and then almost like a brushed aluminum style. They are made out of billet aluminum, CNC'd aluminum, and they look fucking fabulous. So let's go ahead and move on to installation. When it comes to installing new parts, especially if you don't really know what you're doing in the sense of like installing aftermarket blinkers being, you know, maybe your first time, Exarch and High-Speed Technologies did a really good job with making it super easy to know which wire does which. In the case of, say, the duals, which is what I have on mine, my rear taillight was completely replaced with 2 of the units. I have one on either side of my subframe, and each one does brake light, running light, and my blinkers. So, that being said, it's got 4 separate wires. One is your blinker, one is your brake, one is your running, and one is your ground. And the way I have it set up with my bike is that I've got it set up so that my blinker wires were actually bullet connectors, and so it made it really easy for me to install just the blinker portion, but I also went ahead and ran my ground at the blinker as well, just so I didn't leave an open wire. As for the connector that actually went to my stock taillight, it itself had, it was almost like an H4 setup where it had 3 different prongs. And one was just the running light, one was the brake light, and one was the ground for it. So right now, the way I have it set up is that both of my running lights and both of my brake lights go to their separate prongs, and the ground on my tail light connector is just empty. Now, for some bikes, you may need a resistor, and from what we've done with all the installations over at Bedlam Works, 25 watt resistor generally does the trick, and you guys can pick this up through Bedlam Works, or you can pick it up through online or at say like Advanced Auto Parts, or pretty much any local auto parts store. For what these modules do, for what the Exarchs do, the price point is dead on. It gives you the ability to give you a custom look with the bike, as well as replacing any factory stock blinkers and housings. And it also provides a little bit more functionality out of it with the rear end duals, the ones that I've got installed, because it actually, I don't have my stock taillight housing anymore. I just run the Exarch units themselves, because they completely replaced it with having running lights, brake lights, and the blinkers all in just that single pair of units. So if you guys like the XR units, definitely hit the link below. Pick up yourself a pair or 2 if you're trying to replace front and back. And I'll definitely see you guys in the next video.